Breaking news! Big news just dropped, and it's causing a lot of excitement among Falcons fans. Let's dive into this huge update. Before we get into all the details, don't forget to hit that like button so you stay up to date with the latest. We've got plenty to talk about today, and I want to know your thoughts in the comments after we break everything down. So here it is. Grady Jarrett is no longer an Atlanta Falcon. Yes, you heard that right. Just hours after the team released him, the two-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle signed a new 3-year, $43.5 million deal with the Chicago Bears. Now, while this move was likely a financial necessity for the Falcons, it still stings. Jarrett has been the heart and soul of their defense for over a decade, and now he'll be wearing navy and orange instead of the Falcons' red and black. For anyone who missed it, the Falcons decided to part ways with Jarrett to free up $16.5 million in salary cap space. Since his contract had no more guaranteed money left, Atlanta made a tough call. This move is a perfect example of how the NFL is a business first. Loyalty only goes so far when money is involved, and Jarrett's departure proves just that. Now let's talk about what the Falcons are losing. Yes, Jarrett is 31, but he still made a huge impact on the field last season. He may have only recorded 2.5 sacks, but don't let that fool you. He was still one of the most disruptive defensive tackles in the league. According to Pro Football Focus, Jarrett ranked in the 90th percentile among defensive tackles for pressures, finishing with 34. That's not easy to replace, but it's not just about the stats. Jarrett's presence on the field forced offensive lines to adjust their blocking schemes. He was the kind of player who demanded a double team, which opened up opportunities for his teammates to shine. That kind of impact doesn't show up in sack totals. It's all about the chaos he caused every single down. Now, the Bears get to take advantage of that. Meanwhile, the Falcons have a big hole to fill in the middle of their defensive line. This comes at a time when the Falcons are already facing depth issues in this area, especially with the departure of Eddie Goldman. So, what's next for Atlanta? Will they look to free agency to find a replacement, or will they go all in on the draft? Those are the questions they need to answer fast. Over in Chicago, this is a huge win for the Bears. Their defense showed some real promise last season, and adding Jarrett just makes them even stronger. He'll be lining up next to young defensive tackle Jervin Dexter, who has a lot of potential. Chicago's defense also includes Montez Sweat on the edge, along with linebackers T.J. Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds. Let's not forget their secondary with stars like Jaquan Brisker and Jaylon Johnson. This defense was already trending in the right direction, and now, with Jarrett on board, they're looking even scarier. The Bears weren't messing around this offseason. Along with Jarrett, they also signed former Colts edge rusher Yannick Ngakoue to a 3-year, $48 million deal. Big moves in Chicago, and big questions ahead for Atlanta. On the offensive side, the Falcons are also making moves to protect their young quarterback, Caleb Williams. They've brought in experienced players like Falcons center Drew Dahlman, former Chiefs veteran Joe Thuney, and ex-Rams tackle Jonah Jackson. It's clear they're in win-now mode, and landing a veteran leader like Jarrett just adds to that strategy. But let's turn our attention back to the Falcons. Where does this leave us? Honestly, there's no sugarcoating it. This is a tough loss. We're talking about a guy who spent his entire career in Atlanta, a leader on and off the field, someone who truly bled red and black. His departure creates a big void. How the Falcons fill it will say a lot about the future of the franchise. This team is going through a major transformation with new leadership and big roster decisions, and now they've lost a key veteran. The front office is clearly focused on reshaping the team, but the big question is, will these changes make us better? Will saving that $16.5 million help bring in the right players to compete? Or will we look back and regret letting Jarrett go? So, Falcons fans, what do you think? Was cutting Jarrett the right move? Do you believe the team will find a good replacement? And how confident are you in the front office right now? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Now, if the Falcons were hoping to trade Kirk Cousins, their chances just took a serious hit. The Cleveland Browns, widely seen as the top destination for Cousins, just made a quarterback move that throws a wrench into Atlanta's plans. The Browns acquired former first-round pick Kenny Pickett, and while this doesn't completely rule out Cousins, it definitely complicates things. The Browns already have Deshaun Watson and now Pickett, plus they've traded for Dorian Thompson-Robinson. If they were looking to bring in Cousins, this move doesn't line up with that plan. Sure, Cousins is still a major upgrade over Pickett, but was the original idea to pair Cousins with a rookie? If so, does adding Pickett change the game? On top of that, Cleveland sent a fifth-round pick in the trade, which might seem small, but in the grand scheme, it makes a Cousins trade less likely. Every pick matters in trade talks, and losing that pick could push Atlanta to simply cut their losses and release Cousins outright. The Falcons are clearly at a standoff with their veteran quarterback. They're willing to pay his roster bonus, which is due soon, because they still believe they can get value from him. But as free agency moves on, the number of teams in need of a veteran QB is shrinking. If a trade partner doesn't appear soon, Atlanta may be forced to make a tough decision. Now, let's switch gears and talk about another major need for the Falcons, the defensive line. While Atlanta has been relatively quiet in the first hours of the NFL's legal tampering period, new opportunities are popping up. Two recently released defensive linemen could be serious targets for the Falcons in free agency: Larry Ogunjobi and Zadarius Smith. Both are experienced veterans, and while they're over 30, they could still bring a lot of value to Atlanta at the right price. Ogunjobi, who has played for the Browns, Bengals, and Steelers, has been a consistent force on the interior defensive line. Smith, released by the Detroit Lions, is another name the Falcons' front office should seriously consider. These could be the guys to help fill the gap in the defensive line. He recorded 41 combined tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 7 quarterback hits, and 1.5 sacks. While those numbers might not seem impressive at first glance, his skill in blocking the middle and creating pressure is exactly what the Falcons need, especially after letting go of Grady Jarrett to save some cap space. At his best, Ogunjobi had an outstanding season in 2021, racking up 7 sacks. Over the past 3 years with Pittsburgh, he's averaged 2 sacks per season, showing he still has some energy left to give. The big question is whether the Falcons see him as a key player to help rebuild their defensive line. Then there's Zadarius Smith. At 32 years old, he has had a more successful career than Ogunjobi and might be an even better fit for Atlanta. Smith has achieved double-digit sack seasons 3 times, in 2019, 2020, and 2022, and made the Pro Bowl each time. Even last season, he was very productive, with 9 sacks, 9 tackles for loss, and 17 quarterback hits while playing for both the Browns and Lions. Detroit traded 2 draft picks to get him at the trade deadline, but surprisingly, they've now decided to release him, freeing up $5.7 million in cap space. This move puts him on the market, and the Falcons should definitely consider making a call. The truth is, Atlanta needs help on the defensive line, and they need it quickly. While the team will likely look for young defensive talent in the draft, free agency is a great chance to bring in experienced veterans who can make an impact right away. The Falcons currently hold the 15th overall pick, and many believe they'll target an edge rusher. However, adding a veteran like Smith or Joby wouldn't just fill an immediate need. It would also give the team more options heading into the draft. Ideally, the Falcons will take a 2-pronged approach, adding young talent through the draft while also securing a veteran presence in free agency. And honestly, why stop at just one? If the price is right, going after both Ogunjobi and Smith could be a smart move to strengthen this defense for the upcoming season. So, Falcons fans, what do you think? Are you worried about the team's chances of trading Kirk Cousins now that the Browns have added Kenny Pickett? Should the Falcons cut their losses and move on? And when it comes to the defensive line, would you prefer to see Atlanta go after Ogunjobi, Smith, or both? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. The off-season is just getting started, and there's plenty more to come. Go Falcons!